So for aspiring mediators just starting out today, what is the most important skill they should focus on developing? And in your opinion, how much a mediator training does contribute to?
All right.
Am I clear, sir?
Yes, yes.
Ah.
See, mediation is a skill. It's an art. Much of that skill comes from understanding and employing the techniques and processes of mediation. The art comes from what is within you and how you develop your own special skills, manner, and approach. So it's important to understand the techniques and processes. I think if you say the most important skill, I would say the most important skill lies in changing the perspective of the party.
Mind shift.
A party comes with a limited mindset. And that limited mindset is usually adversarial. That limited mindset is, this is my pleading, this is what I want, this is my demand, etc. Now you have to change that mindset and perspective into one which says, well, there seem to be different ways of solving this problem. And I'm willing to work with you, the mediator, in looking at those ways to solve the problem. So two shifts have happened. One, it has become problem solving rather than adversarial bargaining. The second, willing to work to solve the problem, not attacking the other person. We are so used to thinking that we need to attack the other person in order to win the case. Here we are telling people, you don't have to. We can jointly sit and look at this problem and how to resolve it. So the focus becomes problem solving and the approach is collaborative. This is the biggest skill. Now, to get this skill, you need to go to listening. You need to conduct this whole mediation in such a way that the party has trust in you. See, a party may come to somebody as a mediator because he or she has a reputation, etc. But that is only step one. Really, it is how you conduct the mediation at the table that is going to inspire their trust. And mind you, once you have that trust, doors open out. So this whole thing of listening, of understanding, of communication, then of course there are all those things of, to de-negativize language, to etc. But good listening, which means you're listening to understand. You're willing to give that person time he or she may talk about things, and you know that 90% of this is not relevant for the solution. But that 90% has to come out, because otherwise they won't focus on the solution. Once it comes out, you can tell them later when they bring it up, no, you already told me, I understand, I've understood, I remember all that, etc. But good listening, which essentially stems from the base of wanting to I must want to understand. There's a certain empathy that you have to create with the party. That party has to feel, yes, Mr. Panchu wants to help me through this, or wants Sangeeta Mehrotra to help me through this thing. So good listening, good communication, I would say a good focus on what the issue, what the problems are. What is the central problem here? May not be what the pleadings say, maybe something else. What's the central problem here? What do we need to sort out? And then this very skillful thing of, starting to generate options. I think that generation of options, if it is done well, is the breeding ground for success. Because once they come to generating options, then they start to realize, wait, there are multiple ways of sorting this. It's not just that this we can have a co-sharing, we can have a joint development, somebody can buy out the other, we can maybe take different floors in this building, we can stagger payment, we can reduce the interest, whatever. Multiple options.
How much a mediator training does contribute in this? What do you think?
This is a difficult question for
just 40 hours.
Some time since I've done mediation training, so I'm a little out of touch with it. But my own impression is that we go through this preliminary process as well of listening, communication, active listening, all those things we go through well. But I think we are a little weak on this, generating of options. We are a little weak on that, generating of options, and also this whole attitude of problem solving. Problem solving actually is something that you have to do like with surgical precision. A surgeon will know exactly on which part of that body he is going to spend time. What do you grafting it, removing, bypassing, suturing. So actually this problem solving stage, and it consists of taking an option, working it through, looking at the side impacts of this, the repercussions of that. Why will this work? Why will it not work? Do we discard it? Do we amend it? Do we modify? Those are skills I think maybe we need to embed a little more.
So, co-traffic mediator training program offer co-mediation opportunities, as you said. But the biggest barrier an aspiring mediator today faces is the mandatory 7 to 10 years of experience to even apply for these training programs. And on the other way, private mediator training programs are steeply priced and do not offer any co-mediation opportunities post-training. How to, balance and bridge this?
See, as I said, I think I mentioned earlier, the courts should take on lawyers after graduation and joining the bar as co-mediators. And they should be attached to every case, should have a co-mediator. I'm sorry, Diksha is not there. Shall we continue?
Yes, 1 second. Diksha?
I'm there. So
So I think that should be part of the system, that we have fresh lawyers as co-mediators. Mind you, we have made that change in the Mediation Act. When it came to fixing the age limit for mediators, there was a big discussion, with some people saying it should continue to be 30 or 35 because that's what the courts say. And I was very particular. I stood my ground and I said, no, it has to be the starting point is when you should allow, we should have mediators. And I managed to, carry the day on that, because you have to, allow them entry into the system at that point. Um, Private mediation trainings do not offer co-mediation opportunities post-training. Now, see again here, let me tell you, um, I think we have to build a culture where senior mediators, as a rule, take on a co-mediator for cases that they do. I do it as a matter of practice. When I have a mediation and I have people saying, I want to co-mediate with you, I want to observe with you, subject to the approval of the party. And parties don't really object. I've never had a party objecting. Sometimes they may say, sir, for this session, please just with you, not with anybody else. But they normally don't object. I think we should make it a practice for mediators, senior mediators, to have a co-mediator in every case. And if there are mediation providers, they also should have that as a practice, to encourage the presence of a co-mediator in the case. And let me tell you, this is not just as a favor to anybody as a co-mediator. I found it very useful to have co-mediators, because they will follow, they will be thorough on the facts. I can have a discussion with them, and quite often they come up with some, interesting idea, thing, and it's good to, to encourage them. So I think whether it's for mediation training, mediation service providers and mediators, we should, as an industry, as a professional requirement, like you have, like, see, if you're a senior advocate, you must have an advocate, another junior advocate with you. So we should make it a part of the system. Yes, you must have a co-mediator with you.
So, do you see making private mediation training accessible at a nominal cost as a critical factor in growing the mediation movement? And how can we ensure that lowering costs does not come at the expense of quality?
Okay, this is not an easy question, because I think when there are private mediation training programs, it depends on who they bring as faculty. Okay. Now you can't bring somebody from the US or Singapore as a faculty, and then not charge higher fees. So a lot of it depends upon, who they bring as faculty. So I would like, as I said, I'm not in touch with training institutions, but I would like training institutions in each batch. Let's say it's a batch of 24 or 30. I would like them to offer a couple of seats to good aspiring mediators who want to be trained but can't afford that higher fee. I would like them to do that, and I don't think anybody is going to mind that. But this question of making of lowering costs and does not come at the expense of quality. See, I don't know how much of training is done online. Okay. And if you say, for example, that we want to train a group of people, but they can't pay high fees. Okay. Now, I don't know how much these people charge. Frankly, I have really no idea now. How much does it? I don't know how much people charge now.
So the IMI, they have this certified mediator training program, and the person who provides that training program, he or she brings the faculty, depending on the whatever. But it is an IMI, standardized IMI CMTP. So if they have to go by the modules, course modules, and because they are already given to IMI that we will follow this. So whosoever comes, they have to follow that schedule, course schedule, module. So in that case, yes, sir. It varies between 30 to 50 plus GST, sir.
Yeah. I'm just thinking aloud. I mean, let's say there's an online program. Now, if somebody tells me, Mr. Panchu, will you travel to Bangalore and conduct a program over there? It's not easy for me. I have limitations in my capacity to travel and time, etc. But if somebody structures a program and says, can we have you lecture online, and you take these 2-3 topics, and can you lecture online with these? That is something which is far easier to do. One can do it. So if somebody develops, let's say, as I said, it's a long time since I've been in training. So I'm just wondering whether an online capacity to train is something which one can use to keep the costs lower. In the courts, they don't charge at all. So if we open out the doors for young mediators to become co-mediators, then they will automatically get training through the court system.
But they have to have that barrier. You cannot, like you said, that sooner the better. 21 years of age they should, so that they don't have to unlearn.
Yes.
After 7 years of practice.
So we have to break that barrier, but once it's broken, I think they will be entitled to get trained through the court system itself.
Correct.
So the next question that we have is, India's government network for mediation is robust and multi-layered. In your opinion, to leverage this infrastructure to uplift and empower communities at the grassroots level, to strengthen and improve the lives of those at the very base of our societal pyramid, what are the steps needed to be taken so that on one hand, the entry level accredited mediators from the private institutes can put their newly acquired skills to application, and at the same time, the community benefits from it?
Yeah, now, see, we don't have now a system of mediation reaching communities. Okay. We have what is kind of pocketized mediation. We have the court system in which there is mediation. We have private entities who are training mediators. We have some use of mediation, um, through banks, the more sophisticated users of mediation. But we don't have grassroots level mediation. Okay. Now, this is something we need to think over. Can we leverage the panchayat system? Because you have at India in the decentralization of governance, you have the district level councils, you have the Zilla Parishads, you have panchayats, etc. So can we leverage that system to introduce mediation? Basically, I'm not talking so much about training them, but to attach a mediator to those organizations. Now, some of this we can do if we actually create a body called Indian Mediation Service. Otherwise, it becomes a difficult job as to how do we place a mediator in which panchayat. Who's going to do it? Are you going to leave it to the panchayat to choose who will do it? But we have to create the system by which we make this mediation service available at police stations, at panchayat levels. And I think this is something that we need to start working with government on those. Like in the old days, everybody on doctors, you finished your medical course, and then you had to do some public community service, public service, etc. So perhaps a system by which we tell mediators that, look, you finish your mediation thing, so many years, whatever, spend some time, in the panchayat, spend some time working with an institution. But this is it's a big thing. It's a big thing, and we have to think through it. Take some kind of strong, some decisive action, maybe even some pilot projects, and attach. And it's not difficult for the state to say, yeah, we'll pay the mediators. It's not difficult for the state to say.
Even if for some kind of honorarium to these young mediators who do not wait 7-10 years experience for that, private mediations providing good accredited mediator training program, and the trainees who come from there, government can always say that go, like, this is a brilliant idea which you said, that community service, that you go to the community, serve such and such period, come up with the certificate of experience, then we can co-opt you in the court referred system. That can be a way out.
Yeah, we have to think this through, because there's a powerful need for it. And also it's a good public service, you become a mediator, you gain some experience, and you're going out. And,
they learn through experience also.
Yeah. We should think through this.
So the next question is, how do we attract people from outside the legal profession, such as educators, counselors, and corporate professionals, into mediation so we can build a more diverse mediator base with the idea of having an in-house mediator within the corporate houses? How do you see affordable mediation training paired with internationally recognized qualification, helping organizations build internal capacity and foster a culture of resolution?
So I agree, right now people think that you have to be a lawyer to be a mediator. And ever so often people say, I'm not a lawyer, can I be a mediator? And we say, yes, of course you can. Um, I mean, we know that there are certain advantages in a lawyer being a mediator. I mean, most cases of which are complex ones, if you have a lawyer as a mediator, you can break through it. You can understand it. You can see where something is feasible, where it's not feasible. But counselors, psychologists, um, people with experience in maritime industry, chartered accountants, all these are good mediators. So I think simply it's a question of spreading the word that yeah, you can also be a mediator. Nothing prevents you. You could be. I know people who, along with their chartered accountancy thing, have taken mediation training experience, or people, retired people, who've taken mediation training and want to do so. I think it's picking up. Um, I'm not so, this in-house mediator. I think that's an idea we should float. We should, I think, float this idea to corporates that look, have an in-house mediator as part of your legal team or whatever team. Have an in-house mediator so you can sort out conflict right there and then. And once this gets through, you don't have to worry so much about affordable mediation training because they will do it. The company will bear the cost of this. We just need to convince them that why do you have to go outside? Have your own in-house. See, and an in-house mediator is can help in two ways. Can help in sorting out something in-house within the company itself, or if a matter, let us say, has to go to an outside mediator, then the person who's an in-house mediator is a big asset because he knows the facts, he knows the company's policies and the company's way of functioning. And he's a big asset at the mediation table. So yes, I think we should, when we talk to companies, tell them that, look, please create an in-house capacity. In some part of the Companies Act, I think there is a requirement for having a cost accountant. Each company must have a cost accountant. So like that, we should, I think, build up this thing where people should have an in-house mediation capacity.
So you were instrumental in setting up the first ever Court Annex Mediation Center at the Madras High Court. In your view, what role should government bodies, institutions, stakeholders, NBFCs, financial institutions, and public sector organizations now play in ensuring that mediation becomes the first choice for dispute resolution rather than the last resort?
See, I think for all these, I don't mind. I don't mind it if mediation is not the first choice, frankly. I mean, I like it to be the first choice. Okay. But sometimes it doesn't become the first choice. So I would say earliest feasible choice. So what does that mean now? That means that in your contracts, put in mediation as a clause. Okay. All right. It means that when you actually some dispute starts and you exchange correspondence, you offer mediation. It means that if you go to court, then at that court level thing, there is some one barrier or a screen which says, "Have you tried mediation? Have you tried mediation? If not, why not? If you need an urgent interim order, okay, we come for interim order. Then you must try mediation." So one barrier over there. Similarly, I would even say that in arbitration, many times um, it is good for the arbitrator, and some arbitrators do it when they feel that the matter can be settled through mediation. They will tell parties, "You try mediation and come back after 1 month or 2 months." So even in arbitration, there is something. So financial institutions, again, it should be like part of the protocol. Like you tick off the boxes. Do we have it in the agreement? In our notice, are we talking about mediation? When we go to court, have we asked for mediation? Have we tried it? Have we spoken to the other side on mediation? Have the lawyers reached out to talk about mediation? It should be like, a well-oiled system of protocols to bring mediation. Similarly for the court, for the judge to say, "Have you tried mediation?" Or the appellate judge to say, "Have you tried mediation?" So I think it's a question of that kind of thinking coming in and those protocols being devised, where you say, "Yeah, it is the most suitable choice, and doesn't matter if we have not done it as the first choice. We should do it at the first available choice."
So, what is the biggest misconception about mediation that you wish you could erase from the public perception?
I think the public perception is that it's a bit of a loose thing, It's a bit of acha, somebody will conduct something where we talk to each other, बातचीत होगी, that kind of thing. They don't see it as something which is capable of yielding very good results in very short time with a good success rate and being completely enforceable. They think of it as some fluid thing. Okay, we'll go talk, we'll mediate, then the other person won't agree, then where will I be, kind of thing. They don't know that it's completely enforceable. It's enforceable as a decree of court. So that kind of fluidity and looseness is, I think, what most people associate with mediation. And that is not to be blamed, because if you look at our culture and our history, we've always thought of mediation as, sitting under trees and trying to reach some solution, kind of thing. So it's like some elderly person will sit and advise us, but what will happen? We will continue to fight it. But to know that no, actually you get some very good results in mediation in a short time, and they're enforceable. This is, I think, most people don't realize that.
Last question, Diksha.
So, finally, for young mediators and law students listening today, what is that one message you want to leave them with?
All right. I would say first see whether you have a passion for mediation. answer that question first. Is it something that strikes at your core? Do you want to work with people? Do you want to be part of a system and a process which actually makes people's lives better? Um, do you like this soft part of the law? Next, I would say, you see, if I was asked this, and I've been asked this question over the years, and I used to always give very cautionary advice, saying, I'm not sure that, the time has come for somebody to adopt this as a profession. I would be hesitant to tell people, start to think of it on a professional basis. I've changed that. I've changed that after seeing some of the initiatives of mediators, especially young mediators. So I would say, yes, there is a future in it. There is a lot of work that we older people have to do to open up that future, to create the opportunities, whether we create it working with government, working with court, working with business. When I look at myself, I don't see my work so much as in training of mediators and creating of mediators, etc. I see my work more now in terms of creating the demand for mediation, and creating that space for work. So I think I think it's starting to get quite interesting. I think it's starting to get quite interesting stage for mediation. If you look at it, you went through stage one where you had nothing, and then you went through stage two where you started, and then stage three where they took off, but in the court sector, and then stage four, some legislation comes in, and then stage five where you're seeing mushrooming of mediation organizations and mediation activities which are taking place. And it's like, the sprouting of different seeds and different trees. Yes, and those require water. And we have to find those water sources and add to them. So I don't know whether whether it's a very long and complicated message, but that's what I would say.
So it's been a privilege to have this conversation with you. Your journey and your vision not only inspires but also gives us a clear sense of direction, for where mediation in India can go. On behalf of all our listeners, thank you for sharing your time, your wisdom, and your faith in the power of dialogue. We couldn't have imagined a more meaningful way to begin Sankalp Aao Baat Kare, the very first edition of Mediation Musings, Dopal Baatcheet Pe. We bow down in gratitude and dedicate this mediation musing to our mediation fraternity as guiding light for the journey ahead towards peace building through compassion and empathy. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. I must tell you that I've enjoyed this conversation. You've taken me back to times when one started. We've discussed the different phases. And I think we've done overall, we've looked at it overall. We've looked at the conspectus. We've looked at, I think, strategic key points. And so it's been a very useful exercise for me as well. Thank you very much. And my pleasure to be with both of you this evening.
Thank you.
That was the whole point, sir. That was the whole point of this conversation.
Thank you. Stay safe, be well, and take care.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.